This is the final word IPL wrap. I'll try to run you through it in as quick a time as we can. Royal Challengers Bangalore, the team that we've enjoyed keeping an eye on, lost 2 more times. They are absolutely fucked. They're at the bottom of the table. They are the cursed franchise. I mean, their women's team did win the WPL, which was the only bit of joy that RCB have actually had in their entire existence. And there was some hope that maybe this has broken the curse. There was that sign that someone had at the ground with the picture of Elise Perry, the window that she'd smashed in that car on the side of the field, hitting a 6, and it said, break the window, break the curse. Hasn't worked for the men's team. Maybe nobody's broken the car window. They dropped Cameron Green in their first game. They brought in Will Jacks. There'd been a lot of agitation for that. Where's Will Jacks? He can smash runs and he can bowl spin. Well, he made 8 and he went for 24 off 2 overs. So that didn't work out so well. He did take a wicket. Glenn Maxwell injured his hand while fielding after making another duck. So he's made 5 single-figure scores in his 6 hits so far in the IPL this year, and then hurt his hand. They said afterwards that it was probably kind of okay, but not too sure whether that was actually true or not. He went off the field for a while and was in some discomfort. This was the game. This was the one against Mumbai, right? So I'm going to try to keep this together.
Right.
So Kohli gets out to Jasper Bumrah cheaply. Faf du Plessis makes 61. Patidar makes 50. Dinesh Karthik 53 off 23. So 196, not a bad score, you'd think, and then Mumbai chase it in 15 overs. Just consistent runs down the order. 69 for Ishan, 38 for Rohit, 52 for Suryakumar Yadav. Hardik Pandya comes out and hits 3 sixes in 6 balls at the end to finish off the chase. So they go into their next game. They leave out Maxwell. I don't know if it was partly to do with the injury or whether it was entirely form, but Sunrisers Hyderabad, they're kind of they're the team to watch at the moment. They're flying. They're into the top 4 now. I talked about them last week, was it? Well, it was the wrap before last week where they broke the record for the highest IPL score. They made 277 a couple of weeks ago, and then this week they went, well, it's not good enough. Let's make 287. So they went to the Chinna. They took on Bangalore on Bangalore's home ground, and they made again the highest IPL score, 287. Travis had 102 off 39. Had a ton by the 13th over. He's going to go off to America and play Major League Cricket with Smith, Steve Smith, that is, at the Washington Freedom. So he's done by the 13th over. Heinrich Klaasen comes in, batting 3, makes 67 off 31. He's been monstering it too. Markram and Abdul Samad make fast 30s to finish it off, and they end up with that record score. So the bowlers who bowled 4 overs in this game, Yash Dayal went for 51, Lockie Ferguson went for 52, Vijay Kumar Vishak went for 64, and Reece Topley went for 68 from 4 overs. It was grim stuff. But RCB gave it a shake. Kohli and Faf put on 80 in 6 overs. Dinesh Karthik 83 not from 35, but couldn't quite get him there in the end.
Which of the books we were reviewing last year, I can't remember which one it was, that talks about RCB. I'm tipping it was probably written by Tim Wigmore.
Yeah, it would have been Roller. Was it
it's probably the Roller Wigmore book that talks about, although that was about England's rise, so I'm not sure how that would have intersected with RCB, although Wigmore writes about a book every 6 months that somehow links back to T20 cricket.
Was it Cricket 2.0? Was it one he did with Ben Jones?
Could have been, Cricket 2.0 was with another member of the then Cricketers Factory, Freddie Wild, who now works with England. But still, your point stands. It may have been that about how, if I recall it correctly, acknowledging that I don't know a tremendous amount about the IPL, the RCB always go long on flashy batters at the expense of more dependable bowlers, which means they find themselves in this situation quite a lot, that they've got the batting depth and they end up leaving out really high-profile batters, in this case Maxwell, but it's not the only one. You mentioned Cam Green before. They have, their overseas recruits riding the pine when they don't have the bowling that can compete compared to other clubs, That's pretty
much it. That's pretty much what's happening this season as well. They just don't have bowling depth, and they're paying several $1 million for Green and Maxwell to not play in that last game. So that's them. Sunrisers Hyderabad also got a second win over Punjab, only just for the Punjab bowlers, Arshdeep Singh and Harshal Patel got Hyderabad 9 wickets down, which meant they held them to 182. Arshdeep Singh 4 for 29, the left armer, the swinger, and Harshal Patel 2 for 30, who's had a few good IPLs in the last couple, and Arshdeep Singh we've seen play for India before, and you'd have to think he's kind of in the frame for later this year.
I hope so. He was a revelation at the T20 World Cup in Australia a couple of years ago. He was their best bowler. So I like to think that Arshdeep Singh will, through these performances, do enough to get to the States where we'll get to see him play against Pakistan in, as I said earlier, 6 or 7 weeks from now.
So those two between them, they keep all the big names from Hyderabad quiet. So, Head, Klaasen, etc., Mark Maxwell, Duck, none of those guys make big runs. But Hyderabad, they don't just have those batters, they have some good bowlers too. So Cummins bowls Bairstow for a duck, ends up with 1 for 22 from 4. Bhuvneshwar Kumar takes the next 2 wickets and he's economical. T. Natarajan, he'd remember from the test tour to Australia, does a decent job and gets Sam Curran out when Curran's threatening to go on with it. And then Nitish Reddy, who had a really good game, top scored with the bat with 64, comes on to take a wicket at an important time. Punjab need 29 off the last over. They nearly get it. So Jaidev Unadkat is bowling that over. He bowls 3 separate wides in the over. He gets hit for 3 sixes in the over. The first 2 of them, it's Anshutosh Sharma who's hitting these ones, are almost caught on the rope, and both of them are parried over the rope for 6. So he's had a bit of bad luck there too, Unadkat. They need 10 off the last 2, and Sharma goes for it again, almost hits a 6. It goes to the rope, it gets dropped, but this time it doesn't go over the rope. So they only get a run from it, and Shashank Singh comes on strike. But even though he hits a 6 off the last ball, they needed 9 off it, so that was impossible. So Punjab, they also lose to Rajasthan, which is finally a bowler's game. 148 to win is the equation after Bolt takes 1 for 22 and Keshav Maharaj 2 for 23. And Rajasthan only get there with 2 balls to spare. Rabada 2 for 18 holds them back. They just managed to get there in a low-scoring game. But that's Rajasthan who win that game, and then they lose a close game. Last ball to Gujarat. It's still not enough to cost them top spot, so Rajasthan are still on top, even though Gujarat need 2 off the last ball. Rashid Khan cuts it for 4, so Rashid Khan 1 for 18 from his 4 overs, and then 24 not out to win the chase for Gujarat, who won last year but haven't been going so well this year.
Kind of a reminder there that the bowling conversation we were having before about RCB, Rashid Khan, Pat Cummins, 2 of the best to do it. I know Rashid Khan's stocks are higher in T20 cricket, but if you've got the best bowlers, then that kind of reinforces the earlier point. Might get Natarajan one of our new T-shirts at some point as well. Final word merch. We'll see how we go on that.
JL, Justin Langer's Lucknow team, lost twice in the last few days, lost to the Kolkata Knight Riders, and they lost to the cellar dwellers in Delhi. So Delhi have managed to get off the bottom of the table. RCB are down there now. KKR are up to second despite that loss. Lucknow, the win took them up to second, and Lucknow are now out of the top 4. So the KKR game, that's who Mitchell Stark's playing for. He took 3 for 28, bowled really well up top.
Got a wicket.
He got a wicket. He took 3 for the other week as well. He had a couple of bad games, and then he got a 3 for something. And then he got 3 for 28 this week. So first 2 overs bowled really well. I think he bowled 1 in the middle, and he came back and bowled the last over and didn't give much away. So that kept Lucknow to 161. Phil Salt, someone you enjoyed watching a bit of, 89 not out, and they cruised that chase.
I would love nothing more than Stark having copped absolute pelters, from what I can tell online anyway, for his performances so far, when won the comp. For KKR.
Yeah.
For KKR.
That'd be better.
It's late. I'm absolutely knackered. It's late. I've worked a lot of hours this week.
Not a good cricket team. You don't want to be no one. It's not worth the signing bonus to join up with the other lot.
No. There's no amount of money that can. Anyway, the longer we go down this path, the more trouble we'll get into. Please move on.
Okay, right. Anyway, so that was Lucknow only making 161 and giving that up in a chase. And then same story against Delhi. They made 167, I think it was. They're just not making big enough scores at the moment. Lucknow, they're sort of puttering along. This time it was Kuldeep Yadav who put the handbrake on, took 3 for 20 for Delhi. Mitchell Marsh has gone home with a hamstring injury, so he's not opening for Delhi anymore, and it'll be a wait to see if he's ready for the World Cup, where he's supposed to be captaining. He's been replaced by the Chook, Jake Fraser McGurk, who made 55 off 35 in his first IPL outing and helped them get the win, and Rishabh Pant made another 41 off 21 balls, so Rishabh's been going like a house on fire, which is great. They chased 168 with a couple of overs to spare.
Okay. Yeah, I did see the Fraser McGurk highlights, come to think of it. That's going to be a significant moment in his life. I mean, even if he doesn't play much for the rest of the season, he'll be remembered as the guy who lit it up first time and on his debut. And yes, Mitchell Marsh. That does feel quite important, doesn't it? Because he's a big lad. He's big boy. People often say that about Mitch Marsh.
I've rarely heard it mentioned that he's in fact a big unit.
Significant sized human beings. Yeah. Well, as we know, historically, when significantly,
do you reckon that proportionally, given the rest of him, do you reckon he has? Would you go so far as to call them buckets?
I was going to say, who's got bigger hands, Mitchell Marsh or Stewie Lowe? Can we get them together?
Can we have a palm?
Can we get Mitchell Marsh to put his hands up? I once did that when I'd had a couple of beers at the cricket. I saw Stewie Lowe at the pub afterwards.
The Pineapple Hotel.
This is before I was working in the game. And I did two things. First of all, I went and took a specky on him. And then which in hindsight probably wasn't a great idea. He could have clouted me one. And then I wanted to do the track. He must get it so often right. Oh, can I do your hand with your hand, Stewie? And he obliged. I don't know why he entertained this absolute bullshit. But yeah, if Mitch Marsh came up to him, a test cricketer, reigning Allen Border medalist, and said, Stewie, can I put my hand up against your hand? He would feel honoured.
He might.
I like to believe.
It might be they could play the Reef song, Hands. Now place your hands on my own. I can't remember the lyrics after that.
Who did he play? Who's he play for? Is he playing with is Mitch playing with his JL's team?
No, he's playing for Delhi.
Oh, for Delhi. Yep. Okay. So JL's team's
Lucknow. They're the ones who lost twice. They lost to Delhi, so they lost to the worst team in the comp. So they were.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, so they were like Richmond getting beaten by West Coast over the weekend. If I can make it, I'm going to stop. No more footy.
Didn't fucking want it enough.
Didn't want it enough.
You fucking useless. Soft. Albert Jacka fucking would have won.
He might have done. Chennai Super Kings, they played the last game in the round that we're looking at. There aren't any rounds in the IPL, but I'm just breaking it down into rounds because here we are. We've got to get the 4 points and move on to next week. So CSK go up to third spot on the ladder by beating Mumbai, who won a game at the start of this wrap but didn't win this one. Chennai batting first made 206. Sure. Gaikwad, the new captain, made 69. Sure. Shivam Dubé made 66. Nobody cared. No one cared about any of that because MS Dhoni came out and hit 3 sixes off 3 balls. He made 20 off 4. Very, and let us be frank here. Old MSD hasn't done a lot with the stick in recent times. He's been more he's like the lady on the front of the Rolls Royce. He's been a figurehead more than much else. Hasn't been required a lot with the bat. But he went bosh here. So that even though Rohit Sharma made 105 in the chase, Mumbai didn't get the chase. I mean, it wouldn't be often you get a fast 100 and you still don't get it. That was all down to Matisha Patirana, who you'll remember from the World Cup, the Sri Lankan slinger and swinger. Bowled tough overs just out of the power play. That's when you tend to get mullered around. He bowled the 8th over, got Ishan Kishan and SKY out in that over. Bowled the 14th and got Tilak Varma, who was well set in the 30s. And then bowled the 18th over and gets Romario Shepherd, who, don't forget, scored, 34 off and over only a few days ago. So Romario Shepherd's been in great nick. Got him out for 1. Patirana 4 for 28, holds Mumbai 20 runs short, and CSK get the win. And now everyone's going, Dhoni, well, maybe he'll go and play the T20 World Cup. So Dinesh Karthik might play the T20 World Cup. MS Dhoni might play the T20 World Cup, and Rishabh Pant might play the T20 World Cup. How many wicket keepers can we get in this squad? There must be some more. We can't just take the 3. There must be some more.
Yep, we have 4 wrist spinners for England when they visit Australia next, and 3 wicket keepers for India when they go to America for the T20 World Cup. Dhoni will be there surely anyway, right? In an ambassadorial role or something like that. So, but yes, he is long retired. Okay, Jeff, I feel a lot more informed on all matters Indian Premier League. We'll do that again next week for, I guess, week 4 of 15 or 16 of the IPL.
I may run out of enthusiasm for the project at some point. I've had some enthusiasm so far. I've become interested, but we'll see how long that lasts.
It's time for us to go.
Yes.
It's time for us to say goodbye. My daughter Winifred's favourite song. Play Time to Say Goodbye. I want to see, no, not that version. I want the version where he sings with Sarah Brightman. Yeah. I mean, this is sophisticated for not even a 4.5-year-old. Time for us to say goodbye, for it is late here. We've been here for Westfield, London, Westfield, Stratford City, more extra, less ordinary. The Serious Cricket Code, 10% off, final word 24. The link's in the show notes. Get yourself a bat or pads or gloves or a box or shoes or
get it all.
Trousers or
get
a lid, thigh pad, arm guard,
maybe
chest guard,
a grip cone. Some
stumps.
grips.
Do it. Buy it a lot. Serious cricket and a serious operation being run at Westfield London, Westfield Stratford City, more extra, less ordinary. If you like us and generally you're disposed towards doing nice things with us, then join our Discord. So many members of our little crew, Jeff, I say little crew, it's not little, but they ended up on the Surrey stream this week. Did you see that? Did you see that we had Caroline and Amelia and Deb and Mike all ended up going on talking on roving Norcross. This is how I'm referring to, or roaming Norcross rather, the Brian Taylor thing that Norky's doing on the Surrey stream at lunch when there's lots of people out there on the field. So that was a nice final word thing. And that was all possible because of Discord. And Discord happens because of Patreon, like our weekend show as well. Patreon.com/thefinalword. Get formally involved with what we're doing. We've got a lot planned for 2024.
Yes.
What I have planned right now is sleep, deep sleep. Then I'm going to get up for a net at serious cricket in the morning. It all ties together. Then I'll go to the Wisden dinner via Lawrence Booth, where I'm going to interview him at Lord's for We Cannot Stop, and we will not stop. This has been the final word. We're into season 16. It's been, I have no idea what episode.
I think it's 5. I think
5.
I think we said 4 last week, and then we tagged it as 5 when it was published. But I think this is actually 5. But I'll find out.
Okay. Well, tomorrow will be 6, and the day after that will be 7, and on it'll go. I'm Adam Collins. He's Jeff Lemon. Good night from London.